you. Reverend Sage here. I'm here at our beloved chapel, and I'm excited to tell you our Bible story this morning. Today we're going to hear the story of how after Jesus was resurrected, and after he visited the disciples and showed them that he was still alive and could not be killed, we're going to tell the story about how he then entered back into heaven. So let's read the story and then we'll talk about it. Jesus had told his disciples, "I gave my life so that you could be with me in heaven. I am going there to prepare a wonderful new home for you. When I come back the next time, I will take you with me." But now it was time for Jesus to leave. Jesus said, "God has given me complete power over heaven and earth. Go and tell everyone the good news. Make new disciples. Baptize them and teach them to obey my commandments. Don't ever forget, I will always be with you. Go to Jerusalem and wait there," said Jesus. "The Holy Spirit will come to you. He will give you power to tell people about me. Now the time has come for me to go to heaven. Do not be afraid." Then Jesus went up toward heaven in a cloud. His disciples stared at the sky for a long time. All of a sudden, two angels appeared. They asked, "Why are you standing here looking at the sky? Jesus will return the same way you saw him go." Then the disciples remembered what Jesus had said. They returned to Jerusalem and waited for the Holy Spirit to come. What did you think of our story today? If you have a grown-up with you, you might want to pause the video so you two can talk about your thoughts before I share mine with you. This is quite a miraculous story, is it not? If you remember, the disciples, they have been with Jesus all through his years of teaching and preaching and sharing the good news. They have been with him, watching him die on the cross. And then they saw him rise again. And now Jesus is leaving to enter into the fullness of heaven and telling them that now it's their work to go out and tell people about God, and that he will send the Holy Spirit to give them the power and the energy to share the good news. Have you ever known someone who has gone up to heaven? Someone who has died? Maybe a grandparent, or maybe a pet, or maybe someone very close to you. It's very difficult to say goodbye, and we could imagine, just like it was hard for the disciples to watch Jesus be crucified, it was difficult for them to watch him go up to heaven. And it's difficult when we say goodbye to our loved ones who pass on from this world and enter into the fullness of the spiritual world. But what we learn from our Christian faith is that when our loved ones and when Jesus enters up into heaven, he does not truly leave us. He is still always with us in our hearts, inspiring us to love and to care for one another, holding us when we're afraid or scared or when we need help, comforting us, guiding us, and accompanying us on our walk. And the same is true for the people who we love, who die and go on to the spiritual world. They too are continuing to be with us. And the Spirit that is now and forever and can never be destroyed gives them life for eternity and will give us life for eternity. So the ones that we have to say goodbye to on this earth are never truly gone. This story that we read today is called the story of the Ascension, which is a big word meaning ascending, rising up into heaven, which is where Jesus is heading. Remember, this story can remind us of how just because we say goodbye, it is never goodbye forever. And that the Spirit within us is what is real and lasting. I hope you are all doing really well. And next Sunday, we're going to hear what happens after this story, where the disciples are told to go to Jerusalem and wait for the Holy Spirit. And next week, we're going to hear about what happens when the Holy Spirit shows up. So be sure to come back next week. Take care, friends.
You have special things to do, making other spirits bright. That's why God